Welcome to this doll repaint makeover video that I have made. It's not the best one. If everyone has like suggestions and stuff, how to improve and how to actually know what footage to film and to use, let me know. So this was a doll I made for a Christmas swap in the Swedish Monster High group. So the theme was fantasy. You can see me here, I'm cutting off the ears of this Draculaura doll, or part of the ears, with the X-Acto knife. Please do have adult supervision if you do this, or ask an adult to help you. Don't do it if you're a kid, obviously. And his is the clip where I started working on her ears. So as you can see, she has like one of those little things in her head, and that's the sketch I'm using, obviously. The end results look quite different from the sketch, just so you guys know that. But here, yeah, I used wire, it's like an armature wire for like the base of the ears. So here I'm just shaping them and trying to, you know, make it work as nice as possible, and deciding what size they should have. And I just pierce her ears, or I pierce her head with the, as you can see, the wire. And I wanted her ears to go downwards, so that's what I went for. So just try and make it look good. I like the first ear, turned out really good. So that was a success, which I'm happy for. This was my first time doing anything like this at all, so in the future I hope to do more things like this. But yeah, just shaping the ears and making sure that they look great, and here you can see how she looks. And here I started to use the clay. I used air dry clay for this, guys, so yes. Covering the ears with the clay and then trying to smooth the clay out towards the against the head, so the transition will be smoother, I guess that's what you would call it. Using some tools, these dotting tools. I used the handles of them, obviously. As you can see, like trying to smooth it out against the side of the head, like the surface. So this transition would be smoother, or whatever you want to call it. I think I just repeated myself, whatever. But yeah, building on the ears and then working on that took some time. And since this is air dry clay, it actually, well, you have to wait for it to dry, obviously. So I had to wait like a day between, and then after the day, like it had dried, I could start doing the next step, which was, yeah, you're gonna see that soon. Here we go with ear number 2. This time I actually brought water, because use water when you work with air dry clay, guys. It's really helpful, I promise. And yeah, it really makes the whole process easier if you can smooth out things. That looks like a bloaty mess, but I tried my best to make them even, and in the end they came out pretty even, so I'm satisfied with that. Like I said, this was my first time trying anything like this at all. It was an interesting experience for sure, I will say that. Smoothie, smoothie, smooth, smooth, smooth. Okay, smoothie that. Make sure they're somehow even, somewhat even. I'm sorry, sometimes I go a little bit out of frame. I need to work on that too. Yeah. Like here. I think you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to do anyway. And here, I am giving her top. I also used air dry clay for the top. So that's what I did here. Because I didn't want to paint it on, I didn't want to use fabric. I wanted to use clay, because then I know it would stick to her body, it would stay in place when it dried. And I was lucky, it didn't get any cracks or anything on it, so I was really lucky with that one, which I'm grateful for. This was done during the winter months, so I had to rely on daylight to film this. So sometimes the location would jump a little bit, because I changed location to sit in my craft area. Where I'm sitting right now is in my bedroom, where I have my desk, and I have a craft area in my living room, so it will shift between those sometimes. But yeah, working on the top, smoothing it out, making sure it fits, it does, making sure it's like tight towards the body so it will not crack and fall apart. I did have a lot of fun with this. Of course I had to also design from the original sketch quite a bit, but in the end I actually am really pleased with this one. She turned out really good. And it was so much fun to try and experience new things. And here I actually glued her limbs in place. I glued them in place because I wanted her to be like a static pose and she wouldn't like move, because I would later on paint her skin. All of it. Yes, all of it. This idea I got like, so she's more like a statuette than a doll. I got this idea from Lila, so I will go give credit to her. She's an amazing doll repaint artist here on YouTube. And here I am doing her little arm thingy. I used way too much clay, but I will fix that up. I used a lot less than. I will use less. I have a rowdy cat. If you guys hear him in the background, yeah, that's what's happening. Here I'm finishing up the last touches and making sure everything is smooth on the arm piece. And here she is. The clay parts are done. All the clay parts are done. And here I started repainting her body. So I went for this like kind of a pinkish, not pearlescent, but it kind of almost like the same skin color that Laura has, but it's more of a peachy tone to it. So yeah, I wanted to paint everything to match each other. So, you know, since the ears are white because they used clay, the clay was white, I had to make sure that everything was matching. And this was so it's like, it's acrylic paint, so you know, it took some time to dry. I haven't really fully glued all her joints shut here. And here I am adjusting the top. I actually painted it with white because some of the skin paint had gotten on the top. This is so you can see I changed location. So this is where I am in my craft room. So I fixed up the top and also fixed up her little armlet thingy, what she's wearing. I think she came together really nicely here. Here I am working on the stand, and I started working with these pens that I got. They're like kind of metallic marker pens. I think I bought them on Wish, if I remember correctly. And I honestly thought they would last, like the entire thing, but the green one actually died, so I couldn't finish with the green one. You can see like starts dying pretty soon, and that sucked. There you can see it starts like pretty much dying. I was like, oh, what do I do now? So I had to go in with acrylic paint and finish it up and add acrylic paint and so on and so forth. So that was that. I mean, you gotta make do with what you have, and you gotta be able to be flexible and, you know, work on your solutions yourself. Because I wanted her to stand on the stand. I wanted her to have like this kind of stand, not like the kind of stand that goes like the waist braces, you can call them. Because that would scrape off her paint on her body. So here I go in with the blue tone, and these are metallic, so it's like a little bit shine to them, but you can't really see it on camera, which is too bad. The blue one lasted a bit longer though than the green one, so at least I'm happy for that. And then I started here and gluing. I glued her on, so I glued her feet, under her feet, and then I glued her on the stand. So put that down and then I held her in place until the glue had dried. That was an experience for sure. I'm glad I was never bored because I had like always a show in the background going on my computer that I could watch something while I did this. I'm putting down some more glue just to like make sure she stays in place. And that made the water wet. So that's what I done here too. I glued all of the water. And here I'm starting to glue on wefts. I had wefts, but I have this wig that I'm using. I use for wefts, well, when they have silver hair. So that's what I'm doing here, gluing on the wefts. This was an interesting experience. At first I actually just glued on loose pieces of hair, it didn't work that well. Then I started making the wefts and it was way easier to glue them on. And it became really nice in the end. And right here she looks like an old balding wizard man or something. Because she doesn't have any hair on the top of her scalp yet. You gotta start from the bottom and work your way up. Otherwise it will look a bit weird. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to wefts and stuff like that. But I am glad that I did this. And here I am actually doing her face up. This is I think this is like my third attempt at face up ever, so it's not the best one, but it actually came out really nice in the end, that's what I think. You can probably not see it too well. I'm not using MSC, I'm actually using another spray here, which is called Citadel Satin Varnish Matte. Because that's when you can spray in cold weather. You can't do that with MSC. And I would really like to get my hands on one of those masks with a filter on it. Like, so I don't breathe in accidentally MSC, because MSC is very toxic, in case you guys don't know that. But yeah, I'm using my Mungyo pastels and I use acrylic paint for her face up. And also my watercolor pencils, I have 12 of them. And I figured it would be enough, and I think it was enough for this project. I have considered buying more, but I don't know if I will need a bigger set. So here I'm using the acrylic paint, that's her eyes I'm painting there. You can't see her like eye lines, but you know what I mean, like the lines for her eyelids and stuff like that yet, because that's just sketched out in pen here, so... But you will get to see it soon, I promise. I think I'm mixing up some paint or something. Here we go, I put in her eye, white in her eyes. I actually used a dotting tool, because since it was so small I had to use a dotting tool. And that's what I did. And here I sketch, well, this try and darken her eyebrows. And it's out of camera, I'm so sorry about that. I did realize it pretty quickly. I was like, oh wait, this is not being properly filmed. Work a little more on her eyes, making them a little bit bigger. Because I think she needed that. I think the hardest part on the face is actually the eyes. I have a lot to learn, obviously. But I do think she turned out quite nice anyway. I'm pretty happy with how she turned out, so... And the person who received her was also really Really liked her. Really liked her. This is where I'm like doing the eyelids because she has like half closed eyes, kind of like. That's what I did there. I tried to use like a really thin brush, but in the end I think I actually did use the dotting tool, because if you guys have any suggestions where you can get like super thin brushes and stuff, do let me know. This is really painful too. It's like you need to draw a little fine line. It's like, nope. Even if you have the thinnest brush you can find, it still gets a thick line. You're like, oh gosh. Then I'm adding some pupils for her eyes, and I'm gonna add some shiny guys here. Yeah, there we go. The cute shiny guys. Here I started working on her skirt, so I had a lot of different white fabric that I was like, how am I gonna use this? I'm planning out how to do this. I'm trying on, so you gotta try on and see what works. And in the end I went with this kind of fabric. That one has like this little, that one, the kind of the lace on it. And I think I put it on like, what put it on? I folded it like twice or something, because it's pretty see-through, as you can imagine. Yeah, you saw that. It's pretty see-through, right? So I didn't want her to be showing off all of her butt and stuff like that. So I had to cut it out to a certain length, you know, because it's not even. It's not even at all. No. Just have to make sure I got enough fabric for the skirt itself. Luckily, most of those are pretty small, so they don't need that much fabric. But like I said, this one's gonna be wrapped around her as well. So I was like, oh, which length would be a good length? This sounds like a pretty good length. And this is the part where I glued the skirt together. Like, I didn't sew, I glued it together. So I like folded over and glued it and stuff like that. And it was a whole other thing. Yeah, I know. And I had to keep her hair in the towel still, because otherwise it would really get in the way when I put her skirt on. And here I go with the glue. So you guys can see what I did with it. Dotted out. And then I put this one over. Smoothed it out. Waited a bit for it to dry. And then I did the other part as well. Did the same thing. Dotted on the glue. And then folded that one on. Yeah. Then I put the skirt on, and this is the part we can't really see anything because I didn't have a good angle to film that. Here I'm putting her flower crown on, so I was trying out flowers and stuff for her to have on her hair to cover up those ugly wefts. Like I said, I still need help with. I still need to learn how to properly do the wefts with, like when you fold them over and stuff like that. This is why I prefer rerouting with yarn, but this is all I wanted to have actual hair. So I went with these kind of pink flowers, and I think they turned out really nicely. It fits her really goodly, really goodly, really good. You will see in the little short video clip after this how she looks in the better lighting. But this was a lot of fun, guys. Yeah. I learned a lot. This one for her hand. So, guys, she's all finished now. I am quite pleased with her. She looks nice. This is my second repaint ever. So, little elf, little elf girl, should be sent up to her new home real soon. Just want to show you guys some details, like on her outfit. And so, like on the stand I gave her, so it's like water here that's glittering, and there's flowers, and there's some green. You can't see the green below, it's green. So that's her, and she's posing really cutely with this ball here, like a crystal ball or something. And she can move this arm, but everything else is glued in place. I might glue this in place before I send her off, I don't know. All she can do is this, but I kind of like that she has mobility here still. And then her face up, and you can see the ears sticking through the hair. what she looks like. I hope you guys like her. I quite like her. She's nice. I like her. That's my cat, by the way. Vincent, he's grooming himself. So that's her. I'm not sure if I have a name for her. I will see. I guess you will know what by the title, guys. But yeah, this was my second custom doll ever, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys!